Yeah. I'm just sitting here. Yeah. And I had emailed about my constitutional rights being violated. Yes. And I had informed those in law enforcement that my right to due process is and has been violated for the last 6 years. And that my sons are being abused and that I'm not able to find out where Marilyn Van Proyen is. Yes. And I woke up today and it looked to me like somebody was obstructing my emails again. Yeah. And there's a possibility that those that are in the family, yeah, that they pay the expenses for each other. Yes. See, to be able to get fuel, you've got to torture an American citizen. You've got to obstruct them or hurt them or cause them to think that they've got to come around. Now, as that American citizen that has informed law enforcement of what the laws say, the law is actually enforceable. What the family does is not enforceable. In fact, it's prosecutable. Now, let's say, okay, just hypothesize. Get me every employee of every place where they sell tires. Yeah, let's go ahead. Now, every time we find a family member that got free gas, because law enforcement wouldn't enforce the laws of the United States, they decided they were going to have a personal payroll where they would pay those in the family using fuel as a method of bartering for causing pain and suffering to American citizens that want their rights enforced. Now, when you have a vehicle, sometimes you need new tires. So we go through every Les Schwab's and Big O Tire and all the tire companies everywhere in the nation. Pow, pow, pow. Then I get all the phone numbers and I get all the IP addresses of every place where they sell tires. Now, once I find out that a sheriff's been paying for the fuel of those that have been torturing me and obstructing my right to use the internet, I make sure when did they last buy their tires? Now, when you have a vehicle, okay, it takes more than fuel to run a vehicle. It really does, all right? Now, when I email those that are sheriffs, those that are police chiefs, those that are judges and justices, those that are elected and appointed to office, that my rights are being violated, and they decide that they're not going to do what the law says. Instead, they're going to pay those in the family to continue to torture and obstruct the rights of American citizens. Now, of course, they wouldn't just give them cash. That wouldn't be top secret. Poo, 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 poo. Instead, they pay for their fuel or they buy them tires for their cars. Now, listen, Sheriff. I'm wanting the laws of the United States enforced today, and I don't want any family member obstructing my rights any longer. Now, when you look here, you can see that there was a declaration about undeliverable mail. The truth is, I have been homeless for the most part of 6 years. I lived in a fifth wheel until about December 12th of 2012 when Mike Van Proyen turned the electricity off on me in the middle of winter. Yeah. I stayed at my grandmother's house, but I don't remember ever having any mail sent to my grandmother's house when I had stayed there. And then I had stayed at the Serenity House numerous times, but being homeless, I did not have to inform the authorities where I was living. Now, if you wanted to enforce the laws of the United States instead of paying family members to obstruct my rights and violate the laws of the United States, I would like to have the law enforced. Now, I'm just going to need to know every tire. and who it was that paid for the tires of all of those that are in the family that have been obstructing my rights, that have been causing me pain and suffering, that have intentionally refused to enforce the laws of the United States. Now, on August 30th of 2013, there was a motion hearing. Now, as I remember, that's when I got a telephone call from the sheriff's department in Sequim, Washington, asking me to go to the sheriff's department. And being that nice American citizen, I sure did. I walked over there and got a copy of some documents that said there was going to be a court hearing. Now, after putting it in publication and sending it to whatever address they sent it to, I thought it would have been the police that would have served me instead of the sheriff, because I was in the city limits. Then they issued it for 2 years without contacting me after they'd had a court hearing. Yes. And then I spent about, let me see here. They attempted service 2.5 months later. After I had been killed because they stopped the lungs of myself because they put a clone on me when I went to Olympic Medical Center when I took the ambulance from the Serenity House. Now, I'm going to need those hospital records today. I'm going to need to know every prescription that was, prescribed. Yes. And then I'm going to need to know all of those that got paid for shows that received any free fuel or any free tires. Now, do you think you could enforce the laws of the United States?